My name is Lester Burnham. This is my neighborhood. This is my street. This is my life. I'm 42 years old. In less than a year, I'll be dead. Of course, I don't know that yet. And in a way, I'm dead already.
In my opinion, that beginning part from American Beauty is spot on, regardless of what time or generation you live in. Here I am in our little quote-unquote Zen garden with Will, my nephew, 15. He'll be 16 in like 3 days? Tuesday.
For 2 days.
And I'm going to be brutally honest, he's more wise than a lot of the people I know my age. But take that for what it's worth. Either way, I think this American Beauty example, I think that movie is 1999, is a good one just for each of us. Again, each to your own, but each of us to kind of, you know, look at your own life. Are you like Lester Burnham? Are you like his wife, his daughter, whatever the case may be? But think about that. And again, part of this video is not to really to critique one thing over the other, but it's more to say, I don't have all the answers. No one does. But, and that's why I'm purposely showing some of the negatives about, you know, the current little off-the-grid thing. But when I say negatives, I still say that's fine. I mean, there's no way it's going to work out perfect. So, full speed ahead. But also, I'm not delusional, and no one else should be. It's not going to be without any error, as I'm about to walk you through. So, keep thinking about Lester Burnham, and more importantly, think about your own life, leaving the Matrix, or keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Just ask yourself, sorry about dropping the phone, just ask yourself though, keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Let's say you make $1 million, you know what? Let's say $1 billion. What you gonna do with it? Again, just food for thought. We'll go to the next one.
That's my wife, Carolyn. See the way the handle on those pruning shears matches her gardening clogs? That's not an accident.
Hush, Betsy. Hush, what's wrong?
That's our next-door neighbor, Jim, and that's his lover, Jim.
You spoil her. Bitsy, me? No bark. Come inside now. Come on. Yes.
Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Carolyn.
I love your tie, that color.
I just love your roses. How do you get them to flourish like this?
Well, I'll tell you. Eggshells and Miracle-Gro.
I've never heard of that.
Man,
It's a combination
I
of...
get exhausted just watching her. She wasn't always like this. She used to be happy. We used to be happy. My daughter Jane, only child. Janie's a pretty typical teenager. Angry, insecure, confused. I wish I could tell her that's all going to pass, but I don't want to lie to her.
Jane, honey, are you trying to look unattractive?
Yes.
Congratulations, you've succeeded admirably. Lester, could you make me a little later, please? Because I'm not quite late enough. Nice going, Dad.
Both my wife and daughter think I'm this gigantic loser. And they're right. I have lost something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I know I didn't always feel this sedated. But you know what? It's never too late to get it back.
All right, here goes from the American Beauty movie. Little bit of a different movie for most Gen X type people. Again, I graduated in 1996, and I think that movie came out in 1999. Looking back, it is aged very well. Now, on the flip side, people, kind of like Office Space, I get that because that was the environment I started in as far as corporate. But I get it that, you know, if you graduated high school, let's say after 2000, especially like 2005 or later, movie is a little bit disconnected. It didn't really age well, but that really was how it was. Well, similar to American Beauty, when he talks about, I don't know what it is, but I feel sedated. But it's never too late to turn it all around or something like that. Look at that sunset. Normally, I never have time to even appreciate the sunset. And right now, I've got 1 foot in Babylon and 1 foot in the promised land, I guess you'd say. Still working the old corporate job. Again, no regrets. It's really been a blessing. But anyway, the American Beauty thing, I do feel, I don't know if you can hear it, just like crickets, bugs, frogs, birds. That's it. No horns honking, nothing like that. But it is not all, you know, paradise. You can see here in the garden, basically live and learn. I planted everything mid-April, but the seasons have definitely changed. Too much cold weather, too much cold rain, and like nothing was really coming up. So this weekend, not in the game plan, but we plowed it all up. And I just finished replanting it. And those little dark mounds, putting a little bit of peat moss on the top of it so that when it rains, which is supposed to in the next, I think it's 3 days from now. Also, if not, another thing that caught me last year, if you've been following the videos, was I didn't have a sprinkler system set up. So now I do have a gas-powered feeding from the pond, aka Gina's Zen Garden / swamp, to water it. But, note to self, next year I'm probably going to plant this garden around May 1st. Forget April. It's just not worth it. And then this one, which we're just now starting to turn, probably closer to June 1st. And another one that's way off in the distance, probably will be middle of May, just so we can kind of stagnate it. Also, out here in the boonies, you have to worry about deer and everything else. So now we have 2 lines, and I didn't want to step any closer because it's about to go off. A motion detector that is lights and, well, I'll let you see because I'm about to trigger it, I think. Whoa! I've not got used to that yet. I keep thinking it's the FBI or the ATF, but so I duck, hit the ground, reach for my sidearm, just joking. But now they're probably gonna use that, catch me off guard. Also, you can see an electric wire. Here's a post, here's an electric wire. Here is, you can't really see it, but there's a tall wire and a low wire. assuming the deer is going to jump this fence and then hit this one. Also on top of that, I put some of the Invisalign, which is supposed to keep all of the animals around, or out. We'll see if it works. The blackberries, on a good note, doing pretty well. This was last year's, and as everybody knows with blackberries, it takes, you don't get anything the first year, it's the second year. The row next to it is the first year, so it'll be next year before we get anything from it. About to trigger another sound one. Whoa! I'll keep you posted if that ends up working or not. But no, I mean, bottom line is, it would be great right now if I could tell you, I'm showing you the garden and it's just full of like all this produce, and I'm like, oh man, guys, this is great. But guess what? The eggplant died, done. So that's off the menu, so to speak. About half of the squash, cucumber, zucchini came up. So again, fine. I replanted the rest of it. Again, it's where the dark mounds are. So you can see I basically replanted about 80% of the garden this weekend. And also, between each row, pain in the neck. But we cleaned out everything as far as all the stuff that was growing, retilled it, etc. That's another motion detector. I don't know, we're gonna see what it looks like once it hits at night. And I really didn't get to the garden much. I'm sorry, the Zen garden, that is. But again, the point being is none of this has worked flawlessly. So, but again, that's fine. That's live and learn. Kind of like the American Beauty thing. It's something different than rinse and repeat. I mean, me and some friends have this whole Lester Burnham analogy. Let's hope I don't get snake bit here. As of tomorrow, Lord willing, I'll have the water pump, and hopefully I don't have to wade back out in that thing. But no, the Lester Burnham analogy. All right, still have to do some work here, like I said in one of the other videos. Finally put the bridge here. A lot of movement there. All right, I don't know if that's a snake or a snapping turtle. Lovely. Hopefully I don't get a video out here getting bit by a cottonmouth or something. This will all be covered with dirt, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. I put a ton of snake repellent. Basically smells like mothballs. Anyway, back to the Lester Burnham analogy from American Beauty. I think that is kind of the key. I mean, I could keep working indefinitely. Okay, why? And don't get me wrong, I will be the first to admit, like I've said in other videos, I've got 1 foot firmly in Babylon, the secular world, whatever you want to call it, because it's not like I'm selling my house like Scott. I'm basically trying to keep it because it's a low mortgage, and I've got it mostly paid off. And unlike 2008, here's the little stair step we added. I added. It's pretty firm. Added a few more steps, a little bit more gravel after I about tripped. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm not delusional. I just turned 45 last weekend, so that technically means I'm closer to 50 than 40 now. I get it. Again, if I had a couple of 10-year-old kids, I would probably put in at least another 5, if not 10 years, because there's no way in the world I would trust the public education system to educate them. But, like I told my wife, we don't have kids. Not that we know of. Just kidding. But with that being said, life's too short. So full speed ahead, Lord willing. I don't care whether it's Biden, Trump. I'm more of a Robert Kennedy kind of guy, or Tulsi Gabbard if she would have been running. But anyway, no politics. But as long as they don't absolutely wreck the economy, Lord willing, a year from now, I'm done. And again, we'll see what happens. But the point of this short video, bouncing off the American Beauty / Lester Burnham, look at that sunset, beautiful, is, again, why feel sedated your entire life? And at that point, you know what? Let's say best case scenario. Well, I live to be like 90, which my wife's grandmother, which legally adopted her, we celebrated her 90th birthday this weekend. Let's say you live to 90. You got tons of money, every gadget you can imagine. What difference does it make? In the words of Christ, what does it profit anyone to gain the whole world but lose your soul? So again, we'll see what happens. The point of this video was just to say, hey, it does not work out perfect. Again, I was hoping to do a lot other things, and now I had to basically replant the entire garden, and it also delayed me by at least a month from the harvest, but you know what? That's okay. Things happen. And in the words of Lester Burnham, I didn't always feel this sedated, but I'm starting to wake up, and it's never too late to turn it all around.
I guess I could be pretty pissed off about what happened to me. But it's hard to stay mad when there's so much beauty in the world. Sometimes I feel like I'm seeing it all at once, and it's too much. My heart fills up like a balloon that's about to burst. And then I remember to relax and stop trying to hold on to it. And then it flows through me like rain. And I can't feel anything but gratitude for every single moment of my stupid little life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sure. But don't worry. You will someday.